What's up, family? This is your brother Jeremiah back again with the second part of this Nibiru illusionary reality video. All right. I know a lot of people have real deep beliefs in Nibiru and traveling beyond the firmament, outer space to other so-called galaxies and planets that have terra firma. But as I made in my previous video, none of that really has been proven. So at this point, that is all still in the realm of pseudoscience, you know. And so what we want to do, well, what I'm trying to do today, what I'm showing you today is basically a continuation from the last video where I basically broke down that Nibiru is the sun and vice versa. The sun is Nibiru, if you still believe in that type of thing. Like I said, Pops taught us pseudoscience as well as real science. And so we have to be able to, come to the grips of being able to decide which is real and which isn't. Excuse me. So, without further delay, I just want to get into this, some of this stuff. And for those who, who still really truly have a deep belief in the Nibiru and the things that, that they were taught as far as going out of space and traveling to different galaxies and all that stuff, maybe, I can give them a more realistic view of Nibiru, and maybe we can move on from this. All right. So as you can see on my screen here, this is a video I took with my own personal phone camera. It's not, anything expensive, just a regular phone camera that I took of the sun one day. And, if you're watching this video for the first time, you're probably going to think this is crazy. So, what I suggest is you go back to some of my older videos, and then you can see where I'm coming from, because this may not make a lot of sense to you. But, Nibiru, if you know anything about Nibiru, Nibiru simply means the planet of the crossing. So Nibiru crosses the plane every day, every 24 hours. However, we so detached from reality. We want to, place our consciousness way out into the boundless cosmos of nothingness, where so-called galaxies and, quasars and all kind of other different, so-called planes of existences are. We want to place our God-given imaginations out somewhere else other than here right now, and face and do the things that we need to do right here on the plane of existence that we're upon now. But however, that's understandable, because those are the things that we were taught. You understand? We were taught a lot of these things. And so, I just want to make it a little clearer and give it a little more reality to everything, because I know people don't just break out of their spell of spookism overnight, and sometimes it takes a while for, people to get a grasp, get a grip to reality, because reality is real. You know what I'm saying? We live in an earth realm, right? And if you look at the word realm, you get the word real, right? We live in a real place, okay? Earth is a realm, family. Earth is not a spinning ball. That is something that they taught you in order for you at a young age to where you couldn't question it. You understand? And so then at an older age where you've built up, security in your job, you built up a reputation, you built up so many roots planted within your so-called reality, that now when the truth comes and it's so simplistic, you don't want to risk losing your money. You don't want to risk losing your friendships and your reputation. You don't want to risk losing, being ridiculed, right? And so, you hang on to the old, you hang on to the tradition of things. You hang on to your beliefs of things, which is fine. We're not here to debate your beliefs, because if you believe in something, that's what you believe in. I have no right to try to persuade you any way away from your beliefs. That's what you believe. And so if you believe in this Nibiru thing, hey, that's what you believe. However, I'm just here to make it known that it's not based on any real facts. All right. And if you do want to base it on real facts, then the true Nibiru, the way the ancients saw it, was a planet that crossed the sky. That's just your sun and your moon, because if you look up the word planets, You know, that's basically it's telling you it's a wandering plane versus your standard stationary stars. You know, the ones you see that going around Polaris every night when you do a time lapse. Those are your stationary stars. They don't move. They don't go out of place. They move in their own course every night the same way. Understand? So, but the sun has its own course around this plane, and it's clearly that it's there, and we can visualize it, and we can, you know, we can actually bear witness to it. So does the moon. We see the moon, and we can actually bear witness to the moon, right? So we know that those things are within our reality. Those things are real to us. You understand? Now, they may not be terra firma or anything like that, because we know the moon landings were hoaxes. We understand that. However, we know that those are still real things in our reality that we see and we base time upon. Okay? So, you know, if you want to look at Nibiru in a more realistic kind of way, I just propose this theory to you, or this is not a theory, it's actually a fact, because Nibiru, the way pseudoscientists thinks, is false. It's not real. Understand? But the way Nibiru is in a reality, in a realm from which we live, you know, a compassionate realm, a realm to where, you know, we're protected by a so-called firmament, you know, and, you know, we are a special people. We're special, and we're protected here on this plane. Okay. And so, you know, if you want to think outside of that, then, you know, you're going into the realms of pseudo. You're going into the realms of speculation and theory. Okay. And so, and if that's the case, then, you know, so be it. Now, if you look at this video that I'm about to show you of the sun, you'll notice some of the qualities of, you know, Nibiru. They say Nibiru has the qualities of holographic display. It can, you know, display holographic beams or holographic images to you. You know, it can make you think that Nibiru is in one place when it can actually be in another whole nother place in a galaxy. You understand? It can project itself in many different places at once. These are some of the qualities that we were taught as you know, in the Holy Tabernacle Ministries about Nibiru and its qualities. Okay, and it can change sizes. Nibiru can change forms. It can in the lack of a better, I don't want to say shapeshift, but it can change its size. It can you know, it can change its form. All right, you can look at it at one angle and it look like a cube, and then you look at it from another angle like a sphere. You know, according to the theory of, you know, Nibiru and its dimensions. All right, and you know, it projected a crystal-like appearance, and so when you look at your sun, it does all those things. It does all those things in great detail, and I'm going to show you some of that in this video, where the sun, you're going to actually see the sun kind of, I'm not going to say shapeshift, because I don't like that word, because it kind of puts you in the mind of reptilians, and I'm not really into that kind of thing. But, you know, it kind of, you'll see it as a big orb, and then you'll see it get smaller. You'll see it looks like a little disc. That's why my belief is that the sun is not an orb or a sphere. It's a disc. Right? Now watch as that sun peeks out from the clouds. And you can see the size of it. It's pretty big, you know, a big ball of light, you know, versus what NASA tries to tell you that it's just a big fireball. However, I don't see any fire. It doesn't look like that to me. It looks like it's just a big bright light that's projecting this way, outward or downward, or toward the clouds that's under it. Notice as the reflected sun hides behind the white clouds, it illuminates brighter. So when it gets behind a white cloud, like that cloud that you see right there, it illuminates those clouds. It gets even brighter. And I know this video is kind of stalling a little bit, but just bear with it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to see the true form of this small disc. See it? it dipped in and out of that cloud right there. And I have further footage of it further along in the video. You see, the sun's rays are only evident when the sun is reflecting, when it hides behind the clouds. And then when you saw that disk, nothing was reflecting off of it. It was just a white disk. It didn't have any real shine or any rays coming from anything. It was just you saw the sun in its purity in its small disk form, about the same size as the moon. Now, throughout this video, you'll see it pop in and out, but I want to get to a point in specifically where I know. Okay, fam. Now, check this out. You can kind of see I tried to zoom in as much as I could with that camera. It's, you know, just a phone camera. But you see it. That disk is small. And it changes form. It changes sizes, rather. See it? And right when it gets underneath, or I'm sorry, above that cloud, it illuminates that cloud, or the cloud illuminates it, one or the other. That's the true nature of your sun, family. One that can change form, one that can show as a big ball, a gas ball, or a big bright light, and then one that can transform right in front of you to a small disk. And if you're saying that's not the sun, then what is it? That's your planet of the crossing. That's your so-called Nibiru, family. We don't live on a spinning ball. We live within a realm of existence. Okay, let me get off of here. Just wanted to show you that video. That's one of my videos where basically was videoing, capturing the live footage of the sun. I just wanted to see what it was on a cloudy day and how it looked, and it really gave me the impression that the sun is not what we think the sun is. I mean, really and truly, it really changed right before your eyes. You saw the size of the sun was one size, and then within seconds, when it peeked out from beneath, above those clouds, it changed to a very small disk. Okay? Now, when you look at the word realm, family, you realize that you're in a real environment. I pulled up the wrong slide, but check this out. This is basically the definition of a planet. Like I was telling you before, your sun and your moon are distinguished as planets based upon their apparent motion. So, the planet of the crossing thing makes sense when you realize that the sun is actually your so-called Nibiru. Here, this is a realm. This is the definition of a realm in which you live upon. Land, domain. Okay, having dominion upon the land. The realm that you live upon, you know it as Earth. This is called Earth, or dirt. Land. Right? Continent. The word continent simply means continual land. And whether you know it or not, there's land beneath the ocean floors. There's on the ocean floor. The ocean floor is land. And that's why they call it a floor, because the ocean floor is flat. It's like your floor is flat. And that's land that was covered up in water, that is covered up in water. And we have many flat plains upon this realm that's covered up with water, and many that's not covered up in water. And we have some that's covered totally in ice, from what you may recognize as Antarctica. Continents simply are continuous land to make a whole. So all these continents are touching each other. All these continents are together. They're held together, making them continual land, right? And this plane could be an infinite plane, being that the land is continual. However, I digress. I just wanted to show you what realm is, and that the fact we live in a real place. And the word simply means compassion. When you think of the compassion of the Most High, whether you consider that a male or female, the compassion of that most loving being is unsurpassed, because we have food, clothing, and shelter. We can have that without having it sold to us. The stuff is given to us free upon living off the land. And so, again, if you look at the screen in front of you and you see compassionate, you see the word alms means compassionate and to have mercy. But if you look at these other words, like the late Latin Mosnia, Eli, you see the word Eli or Eli. And Eli simply means the Most High. Eli simply means, Father, and we have the mercy of the Father. We have the compassion of the Most High, giving that we're protected within a enclosed garden of delight. The planet is so delightful, on its own, without people having to come in and destroy it and cut the trees down, and just to build factories and things of that nature to stuff and fatten their pockets. The world in its natural form is one of the most beautiful things, is the most beautiful thing ever. And that's what they don't want you and I to become, a natural living people that lives amongst each other off the land, on nature. Not the beings, not the animals, not the living animals on nature, but just the land, the giving fruit, the giving vegetables of the land that we can grow. They don't want that, because something happens to us when we get together like that, and we end up, growing and building in ways that they could never imagine. But anyway, I digress, because I can get on about that. What I really want to focus on is this flat earth realm that you live upon. Okay. And like I was showing you in the video just then, that your sun is simply Nibiru. Your sun is Nibiru, folks. I don't know really any other way to really put it, other than the fact that it's been in your face for ages. All your life, it's really been there. And so we need to get past that and figure out the best route to do so. Again, this Ilion, the 19th galaxy, the risk being the 8th planet, look at the parallel similarities between that and what you have here on Earth. It's the 8th planet, the center planet, right? Earth is the center of our so-called galaxy. Earth is the center of the universe. Not the sun, it's Earth. The sun circles around the Earth to give Earth its warmth and its light. However, Earth, the plane, is the center. Okay? And just like they depict risk right here, is the center. And it's the 8th planet. If you count in, coming from so-called outer space, you would pass Pluto first. Then you would get to Neptune. Then you would get to Uranus. Then Saturn, Jupiter, Mars. Then you would get to the moon. And then you would get to Earth. If you count the moon plus Pluto, which they demoted, coming in from outer space, so-called outer space, Earth would be the 8th planet coming in. Not the 3rd planet going out from the sun, but the 8th planet coming in if you count the moon and you count Pluto. Okay, and then it would be the 8th planet. Those are your similarities between those two so-called terra firmas. We know Earth is terra firma, but risk is simply Earth. like I told you in the last video, if none of this stuff makes sense, family, you have to go back and look at some of the older videos so that you can catch up and get a grip on what I'm really saying here, because it may not make sense to you. I understand. However, I will continue. Now, if you see my board back there, you may be able to see it. You may not be able to see it, but you know, it says Nibiru, aliens, outer space, and heliocentrism. All right. The alien part is simply, I just wanted to break down the word alien because they use word magic to play these games with us, and it's easy to mislead the people in a way to make them believe in fairy tales and things that aren't even real, such as aliens. Okay, so an alien in real life would be someone who crosses the border. All right, so an alien would be, you know, you have legal aliens and you have illegal aliens. You know, however, they're still a so-called alien if they're not natively born, native or original or to that land. Now, there's a whole lot I can stem off and ran on right here. However, I'm trying to stay to the purpose of this word alien. They took the word and made it something that it's not. The word alien simply means as above, so below. And if you use the word magic, you can tell that, you can see that, plus you can see how they made a deception out of the word to make you believe in a little green man coming from outer space. All right? So, the word Ali is used to express the most high, the highest. The word In is used to denote Enki, who ruled the lower waters beneath the earth. All right? So, in other words, as below, as above, so below. So with the word Ali literally meaning the highest, lofty, and In representing the lowest waters below the open expanse, they took these meanings and created your hell and your heaven concepts. Okay? And over time, your oppressors, your kidnappers, however you want to put it, they put a twist on the meaning of the Ali due to its most high position. They made you believe that aliens came from up there. Came from up there, from outer space. All right. And when you look at the word angel, it simply is telling you that ang simply means to be raised high. To be raised high. You angle something, you raise it. You angle it. Or to ang, to be raised high. And Els means on high. Els on high. Okay. Certain beings called Anunnaki came down to earth sent by Anu, led by Enki. All right. And these beings were thought to be angels or beings that were from on high. Like the Enuma Elish. Okay? These angles or these angels, you know, are simply people. Like you and me. They're, you know, and they come from on high. They come from a place that's raised more northern than you are. That's all it means. If I'm at a lower level, let's say I'm in middle school, you're in high school. You're just at a higher level than I am. Okay? Because I'm in middle school and you're in high school. It's a simple difference. It's as a basic distinction between the two. So from someone coming down from on high could be somebody living in the mountains. Living in a high elevated place. Okay? And you living on the flat plains or savannas or wherever you're living at, then those people will be considered on high to you. Okay? However, when the deception came in as to make you believe that, you know, in so-called outer space, which outer space is real, I'm going to break that down to you in a very simple way again, you know, but outer space is real. However, they played the trick on making you believe that Mars was terra firma, that Mercury was a terra firma, that the moon was terra firma, and that was the main one because the moon was the closest thing that we have to us, 276,000 miles away from us. So that moon would be something, you know, more attainable than Saturn or Mars or any of those things, right? And so if they could put that shit on TV to make you think that that shit was real, because everything on TV is television. It's simply to tell a vision. So, and these visions could be true or these visions could be lies. However, when you look at it in the old way of looking at it is telai visually. So telais visually. So most things on TV is propaganda and they're lies. So let's not beat around the bush. You know, they're going to tell you lies on TV. And even though they're going to position it as if it's something real, they're going to still be lies. And then it'll be up to you whether or not you believe it, because like he told us. And what was it, 1999, 2000, the devil lost his power? And so if the devil lost his power, at that point, you see what I'm saying? The only thing they can do is lie to you, because they don't truly have any more power over you, and they can lie to you, and that's what they are doing. They're lying to you. I mean, in heavy doses. I mean, a lot of us are stuck on the fact that, you know, they lied to us about our history. They lied to, you know, which is true. And at the same time, they don't realize that they lied to us about everything. Everything. Okay? So again, we have this, alien deception where they make you believe in little green men that's going to come down here and, you know, save you or destroy you in some kind of way. The deception runs deep by using very simple tactics of word magic, and they've been doing it for centuries in order to create a receptive and open mind to whatever they tell you. Okay? In religion, they use words like the Most High, in heaven, up there, hell, being low. And then your mundane sciences tell you that there's a boundless expanse of outer space and countless galaxies and universes, trillions of light years away in outer space. See, family, this is what the game they play. They'll tell you lies within the truth. Or they'll say, or the truth lies within. There is some truth to what they're saying. However, the way you have to understand this, Pops came to teach you how to think your way out of these deceptions. And the way he taught you was to question everything. Everything. Not just some things, not just what which pertains to you, not just what pertains to your interests. Everything. Okay? And this Nibiru thing is one that most of us just took and believed on the fact that we thought, nobody could ever lie to us, but our parents even lie to us. So come on, man. If our parents lie to us, God damn it, any man can lie to us. So anyway, it's a deep deception, family. It's a real deep deception, and we have to know how to see through it. Your so-called outer space. Like I explained in one of my other videos, is simply the outer space. If you're in your home, right? If you're sitting around in your home with your doors locked or your windows, hell, with the windows up or whatever, anywhere outside of your home would be outer space to your home. Because you're living in space now. All of this around you is space. So-called space. A lot of people, get real deep on it, but this is space right here. I take up space. You take up space. You occupy space. So the space outside of your house is outer space. It's that simple. Now, what they want you to do is have a deception. They want you to believe in the deception that space is not the reality. It's not what you take up. It's not what's all around you. But they want you to think that space is up somewhere and abound. They call that outer space. And they say that it could be boundless universes, boundless galaxies. I mean, just unsurmountable planets with life like ours. Which suggests that there are terra firmas other than Earth, outside of Earth's atmosphere, that harbors life as well. They are lying to you, but they're telling you the truth. Because outer space simply means outer on a horizontal level. And we already know that the plane that we live on is a horizontal plane. We know that we live on a plane. So outer space could be those islands. I mean, those other places that contain land masses outside of the Antarctic ring. Okay? If that is indeed a real thing. However, I've never seen the Antarctic ring. I've never been to the Antarctic, so I've never seen the Antarctic ring. However, what I'm telling you is from the research that we've done is that in the testimonials of people like Admiral Byrd, we know that there are lands that exist beyond the poles. We know this. So if we know that we live on a flattened plane, then there could be other lands beyond the poles on a flattened plane. Now, this flattened plane may be elevated. You understand? May be an elevated plane 2 to 3 miles up. However, that plane would be flattened. Okay? And I think this slide here is just basically telling you what I just said about the concept of outer space. It begins to conjure up images of little green men and reptilian humanoids, all the other stuff about galaxies and coming from, all over the place. Now, this screen right here is where I want to focus on, because when you look at the illustrations that Pops gave us of Ilion, the secret, I believe, was hidden in the moons. There are 38 moons in Ilion, in the 19th galaxy. Right? And there are 19 planets in the galaxy. However, the secret was hidden in the moons, I think. Because we know that moons, so-called moons in pseudoscience, well, actually, just say moons for real. Just the moon, like our moon. We know that we can tell that that's not terra firma. We can tell that you can't just go and land up there and just walk around and like they portrayed that they did. It's not true. You can't do that. That's a light. It's a light source. And so these moons represent real land on our plane. Now, what I've done is count up these land masses. And at one point, I wasn't counting this little landmass here, but I'm going to count it. And they say that we have, and what I've come to is 32. I counted 32, and I didn't count those little specks or whatever, islands or whatever. I just counted the major land masses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Okay? Now, 32 land masses outside on a flattened plane of land. When you count the so-called continents on the inside, you get 6 or 7. Now, there's, people agree or don't agree whether or not Asia and I think Europe is actually a separate continent and they count them as one. However, if we go with 6, then you get the number 38. Okay? If you go with 7, you get 39. I'm not saying that this is right and everything is, this is the way Doc said it. He knew about this Chinese calendar and he counted the moon. I'm not saying that. I don't know. And I never go into saying that that's what he did. No, because I don't know. I never really met the man. I met the man one time. I shook his hand and that was it. But I never met the man to have a conversation with him about any of this to find out whether or not he said that what I'm saying is true. So, no. At this point, what I'm saying is that it's very, familiar. It's very similar how the land masses beyond the poles in this Chinese map is to the positions of the moons of Ilium. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It may not have anything to do with nothing. However, what I'm trying to say is that the so-called outer space would be, if this is America, and this is South America, and this is all the other continents, and they're saying that this is a continent, this ring of so-called Antarctica is a continent, then to me, it's hard for me to count that as a continent, so it would still end up being 38 land masses on this Chinese map, total, with all the land masses in the middle, as far as continents concerned, land masses. But I digress. These land masses are on a flattened plane outside of the planes that you and I are familiar with, the 6 or 7 so-called continents that you and I are familiar with. However, outside of those continents may possibly be land on a flattened plane, because Admiral Byrd witnessed land beyond the South Pole, beyond Little America, which is in Antarctica, beneath South America, and it's possibly this landmass right here that he discovered. However, like I said, we know that there could possibly be lands beyond the poles. Okay, we do know that is a possibility. All right. So I know if some of you haven't seen these videos before, I don't want you to be thrown off. Please go back and visit and watch some of the older videos that'll bring you up to speed on some of these topics. However, if you know anything about the ancient civilizations of Egypt, or the Mayans, or the Aztecs, or the Vedics, or whatever, they all knew that they lived on a flat plane. They all knew that they lived on a flat plane, and they knew that the things that you see in the sky as a sun and a moon, they knew that they were lights. They knew that they were luminaries in the sky, as well as the other stars like Polaris and all the other stars that rotate around Polaris were luminaries. Even the planets, the so-called planets, like you see on the screen right now. You see, NASA will, show you the screen on the right, because they got, big old telescopes, so-called superpowered special NASA Mason CGI telescopes that show you stuff like this. And this is supposed to be Venus, but when you look through a regular telescope, so-called, this is so-called Venus. They always give you this fantastic, dazzling CGI stuff, and they'll tell you this is CGI. They don't see this shit through no damn telescope. This is CGI. All this stuff is CGI. This is how Jupiter looks through a regular, like my telescope. That's what Jupiter will look like. If I pull my telescope out, found Jupiter, it'll look like that. However, NASA, through their ultra high-tech NASA telescopes, the public can never access these type of telescopes. They give you this kind of image right here. Shout out to ODD TV. I got this image from one of his videos. Make sure to go by and subscribe to his channel, watch his videos, and learn. It's a great source of flat earth material there. All right, as well as Brother Sanchez. Make sure to, I want to give a shout out to that brother. That brother's the real deal. He has a lot of great info on his channel. I'm gonna make sure I have links to each one of these brothers on below. I just want to give a shout out to Brother Sanchez, and I want to give a shout out to ODD TV. I want to give a shout out to everybody I've learned from in the past with this flat earth stuff. And like I say, I appreciate the knowledge and the openness to share. Okay. And again, here's another one. What Mars would look like through a regular telescope, like a regular light. And here's what NASA says Mars looks like through one of their untouchable telescopes. You be the judge, family. Until next time, this is your brother Jeremiah. Peace.